Welcome to 5-Minute Reviews. Today we're looking at the Sony 50mm f2.5G. Did I get that right?
It's the 50mm f2.5G. They just launched it here, and it is about $600 is what it sells for.
So give us a walkthrough ergonomically. Like, what's so special about this 50?
It's quite tiny. It is great size for travel. It has two rings here. You have your focus ring, and then you have your aperture ring. Your aperture ring does have a little D-click switch that is hiding in between the lens and the camera grip. And then you do have your autofocus, manual focus switch, and a little shortcut button right here. So.
Build quality wise, we're assuming this is weather sealed,
Yes.
right? And it seems pretty lightweight,
Yeah,
right?
it's very lightweight, very easy to wear around all day. And even I did kind of like how the hood also keeps a little bit of the splashes away too, as far as weather sealing. It kind of keeps it away from the front of the lens with the little lip that they have there too.
Cool. And autofocus performance. You were saying the 40mm did a little bit better than this, right?
Yes,
Hillary?
the 40mm that was launched at the same time focused a little bit better and a little bit closer. About 10% of the time, I was getting some soft shots. Walking pace, it stepped up a little bit. Maybe about 13% of my shots were soft then.
Okay, so let's think about this for a moment. So this is a 50mm f2.5. Sony has a 50mm, I think it's f2.8 or also 2.5 macro. They have a 1.8, they have a 1.4, and they also have a G Master. Why would someone get this 2.5?
Either for travel or for the price point. So it's $600 isn't a super cheap lens, but it is quite affordable for the G series. And moving a little bit into image quality there, it does have that same like great sharpness, maybe a little bit too much sharpness that the other G series lenses have. So for being so small and for being relatively affordable, you do get some pretty good images.
Let's talk about that image quality a little bit more. Talk to us about the bokeh. Like, the 40mm will focus a little bit closer, so that potentially gives us better bokeh, but this is also a 50. Is there anything to write home about?
You can get, the softer backgrounds that, separate the subject. It's not obviously the same kind of bokeh that you're going to get from an f1.8 or an f1.2. It's still a full frame camera. So you do still get some of that background separation. Bokeh balls aren't quite as great as some of the other lenses. A lot of the bokeh was great, and then occasionally I would get some of them that would have a little bit of an onion ring or a little bit of a soap bubble effect.
I like that soap bubble effect. I mean, to me, that gives me nice lens character. I mean, does that mean Sony didn't engineer it totally out from the thing?
Yeah, there's definitely a little bit of character. You can get some flare, and the flare's kind of cool looking, a little bit of some star flare I was able to get a couple times. So, yeah, there's definitely still some character, even though it is a super sharp lens.
And sharpness, like, talk to us about that. So, that usually goes hand in hand with the autofocus. And you're using the A7R4. You said you thought it was a little too sharp?
It's a little too sharp in like the test chart that I shot. You could about see the pixels on that thing. My real world shots, it was a little bit less noticeable as far as being overly sharp. You might maybe see a few more pores if you're doing portrait shots, even with someone with great skin. So you might need to do a little bit more retouching. But really, like, the sharpness is right there. So.
All right. Well, in 15 seconds, what are your final thoughts on this lens?
If you don't want to lug around a really big, really heavy lens, or you don't have $2,000 for the f1.2, it's a good alternative because it's sharp and it's got good color and it's not going to weigh you down.
Cool. Thanks a lot, Hillary.